Hello everyone, as with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today wherever you are in this great world. We're gonna talk about XRP. And once again, this is the one-day chart. We're sitting here at $1.35. It was another red day for XRP. And if you look at the 1 week, here's where I said, I think we're going to see a next leg up. Instead, XRP went in the opposite direction. And now everybody's already talking about March. They're like, I'm so glad that February's over. March is going to be huge for crypto and XRP. It does look really good. It looks like we are due for a decent month in crypto. I'll talk more about that in a minute. And look at Bitcoin, down under 66K. And we're still following Bitcoin right now. The chart looks almost identical for Bitcoin and XRP. But everybody's talking about it being alt season now. It is not alt season yet. And they're all citing Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance is still compressing right here. Until we get confirmation and see a drop here, it is not alt season yet. That is still loading. And remember, everybody said Jane Street got exposed, so we're not going to see no market manipulation going forward. Well, now it looks like Binance is the next in line to have a major probe. 11 Senate banking Dems sent a letter to Pam Bondi and Senator and Secretary Scott Bessent urging DOJ and Treasury to investigate Binance over media reports of illicit finance activity, including alleged Iran-linked flows, warning the exchange may be violating its 2023 settlement. The settlement, in part, required Binance to implement sweeping compliance reforms under U.S. supervision. Lawmakers also point to Binance's growing business ties to President Trump's crypto ventures and his pardon of founder CZ Binance, calling for a thorough, impartial probe. Most people right now in crypto are blaming Binance for all the market manipulation. I think it was a joint venture. I think it even goes beyond Jane Street and Binance. I think there was other major players out there as well. All I want to see is the manipulation to stop in crypto. I think then we will finally start to see crypto break upward. And that will come with regulations also. And then there's this post, and this is quite ironic. So you see people lining up to buy XRP at $3.60 instead of buying it at $1.30. I recently ran into someone that I told to get into crypto back before the president got elected. They didn't listen. Then crypto broke out, and right away they're like, oh, I got to get into crypto. How do I get into crypto? And the guy bought XRP at $2 and change. Well, I ran into him again and I said, are you still holding XRP? He's like, no, the second that it dropped 15 cents, I jumped out. He's like, why are you still holding? I'm like, yeah. He's like, how could you hold through that? I was like, I know what I'm holding when I hold XRP. He's like, yeah, but a guy at work told me it's going to zero. So I jumped out. He will be back once we get back above $3. You're going to see all these people that sold, they're coming back the second XRP breaks out. And this is so true. I mean, you're going to have buyers at $8, at $12, at $20 plus, because everybody knows what XRP is capable of, but they have to have confirmation that the breakout is here. The thing about that is when the breakout starts, it happens so quick that you're buying halfway up green candles. That's why I always urge people, buy when there's blood in the streets. This is the worst state of crypto ever. Everyone is waiting for crypto to go much lower, but the data says we are in historic downside streaks. First ever red, January and February, 5 red months in a row. Only 2018 and 2019 was worse. Is the bottom already in? So we now know that we printed 5 months in the red. Are we going to see a red March? I think we're due for a green streak for XRP. And I think this is going to be a fabulous green streak as well. Because once it happens, XRP, it moves so quick to the upside. And we're no longer moving like we did in the past. We're going to see jumps of like 25 cents, possibly even by dollars very soon. But we are so overdue for a green month in crypto. Let's hope it starts in March. Time Traveler says, many of you who don't hold XRP will buy at $100 plus with regret. Here's the thing though, all of you already own XRP. The people that are going to be buying at $100 plus, they didn't even get here yet. They're still coming, and they're not going to enter this space until we are hitting higher and higher price points. You're going to have buyers at new all-time highs, but there's going to be new buyers, people that never even looked at crypto before, buying at $20 plus, because by then it's going to be all over the mainstream media news. And still you'll have laggers, people that don't want to buy at $20 or $30 plus. They'll come around the crypto when it's already above 3 digits. They'll be like, oh, now I think I want to buy XRP. They're saying it's going to be utilized to move the world's money. I better get in on this now. And they're going to have all kinds of regrets for not buying at much cheaper prices. The prices are so dirt cheap right now. I don't see why anyone is still sitting on the sidelines. And here's what happened with the market structure bill. The White House wanted a deal on stablecoin yield done by this weekend. Will it happen? No. A banking source with direct involvement tells me Patrick Witt made the unfortunate error of going out to the press and saying he'd get this done before March. It's not going to get done before March, the source said. The crypto and bank lobbies are still far apart on the issue of yield, which is holding up a crypto market structure bill. Is there language circulating? Yes. Is the language close? No, the source said. We're not close to a bill. I think that there's a very real likelihood that this thing falls apart unless Brian Armstrong comes to the table, this source added, referring to the Coinbase CEO, who has been adamant that stablecoin can generate yield for users. The source emphasized that the banks want a deal here, but figured chances of passage could drop to near zero in the next month. So how long is this going to be delayed? They need to get this done ASAP. And whenever there's a delay in Washington, it doesn't get done within a couple of days. It usually gets pushed out by a couple of weeks. So are we going to see a new deadline? We have to see what happens from here. And here's what Patrick Witt had to say. Take a listen.
There's going to be a convergence between crypto and the banks. Right now, it is a new product. It's somewhat threatening to the community banks and not just the community banks, but also the GSIBs, the larger banks. But they're ultimately going to start getting into the crypto space. They can also offer stablecoin products to their customers, just the same as crypto. This is not an unfair advantage in either way. And then many of the banks are now applying for OCC bank charters themselves to start offering bank-like products to their customers. So in the future, I don't think this is going to be an issue, but we're managing through an interim period where there's a lot of people on the bank side of the table that feel threatened by this, but ultimately I think they're going to find opportunities to use these products and leverage them and offer new products to their customers and expand their businesses.
And that's what the banks can do. They can expand their business model by offering crypto. And if they were to offer yield, they would bring a lot more money through the door. But they don't want to do that. They want to keep everything the way it is right now. But he's not wrong on those banking license. Morgan Stanley just applied for a crypto-focused national trust bank with the OCC. This is massive. Wall Street isn't dipping its toes anymore. It's diving in. Now joins Ripple and others in the race for regulated digital asset custody. Institutional crypto is no longer coming. It's here. You're going to see other banks going down this same road over the coming weeks. Anybody who gets involved with crypto right now and expands their business model through crypto, they're going to start onboarding the younger generation. Because you need to make the bank more, how could I put it, more modern. I mean, it's stuck in the past. You need to modernize it, bring everything up to speed so people want to use the banking system. Right now, most people are like, why should I even have a checking account or a savings account? It's not like it's earning any money. Focus on becoming a top 1% XRP holder, not top 1% in dollars. Pundit Austin says, to rank in the top 1%, a wallet needs 46,277 XRP. Only 76,580 holders qualify. At $1.44 per XRP, entering the top 1% cost about $66,638 today. So what retail investor out there has 66 grand laying around to become part of the 1%? These people are so out of touch with most other people in crypto. I see other big names in this space telling people, if you're not holding 50,000 XRP, start investing in something else. It's going to take that many tokens, that many XRP, if you want to become rich. And these people are totally wrong. They have no clue on how high the price of XRP is going to go. Right now, the big argument is it's never going to touch 3 digits. At the same time, you have AI models, you have CEOs at these exchanges saying that scarcity is coming for XRP. So think about it like this. If XRP was designed to be a $10,000 cryptocurrency, which everybody cites that all the time, then all you need is 100 XRP, and all of a sudden you're a millionaire. So think about it like this, and it goes beyond just holding the asset and then selling it. You can now build off of your holdings by just holding the asset, staking it, borrowing against it, getting passive income from it, reinvesting some of that passive income. It's not like it was years ago. Crypto is maturing. Institutional adoption is on the verge of happening. The options for crypto holders are going to expand like never before. So don't listen to these people trying to convince you that you need X amount of XRP. Buy whatever you can afford. Stay patient, sit back, and wait for it to happen. And it's not one switch, it's 1,000. Take a listen to Brad Garlinghouse here.
There's not one switch. There's 100 switches. There's 1,000 switches. And it's all of these little switches, and bit by bit by bit, until it really does, I think, have an exponential impact. And I think you're starting to see that. It's taken a little longer in some cases, but on the other hand, we've made so much progress. And you're seeing more and more of these little switches flip. And it's the reason why I have so much optimism about 2026 and certainly beyond. But part of that truly is, you all are one of those flipped switches. Like seeing the passion in Australia, seeing the passion, we're on a kind of world tour right now. And it's awesome. And each of these individual things and the advocacy and clarifying and debunking the FUD and misinformation, it's all part of the number of switches that are being flipped. And I think at some point you're going to feel like, oh my gosh, the switch did get flipped. It wasn't one. It was the culmination of a decade of those events.
So he's saying that there is more than one switch, and I agree with that. I think I call it puzzle pieces, and Ripple's been putting the puzzle pieces in place for over a decade now, and the puzzle is almost complete. It's all those rails that run all throughout the world. And I think the biggest flip of the switch moment is going to be when the banks come out of the testing phase with XRP. That's when XRP could just go to a set price overnight. But he is right. Some of the switches were already flipped. And I think we're going to see more switches get flipped throughout 2026. But is the big one going to happen this year? I think we're very close. I think if it doesn't happen in 2026, it's going to happen in 2027. But I think we're going to see XRP run up into that. In other words, you're going to see the price continue to rise into that massive flip of the switch moment, where all of a sudden we wake up one morning and everybody's using XRP now. Because the whole rail system is almost done. And you see what's going on in Japan. You see what's going on in the EU and the UK and everywhere else in the world. The only thing holding us back in the United States is the lack of regulations. And once regulations are here, everything's going to change it's going to happen so quickly after regulations are finally approved, because that's going to separate everything. It's going to separate speculation and utility. It's going to onboard all the institutions, which is going to open up mass adoption. And I honestly believe it starts in 2026. That you could bank on. And like I said at the beginning of this video, right now, XRP is still sitting here in the red. And I'm just waiting to see the next move up. Hopefully, we have a green March, and we are due for a green month for crypto. But until it happens, stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.